When we're working on metric conversions, you really need to know what the prefix are and what number goes with them. So like we talked about in class, all we have to do is start with our base unit here in the middle, and the base unit is going to be 0 because we don't have a prefix, we don't move it anytime. From then, we always jump by 3. So kilo is 3, mega is 6, giga is 9, tera is 12, and peta is 15. Going down, we work the same way, except we have negative exponents. Centis are our little freak, so we're going to skip it for right now. Milli is going to be minus 3, that's going to be minus 6. Nano is going to be minus 9. Pico is going to be minus 12, and femto is going to be minus 15. Centi was our freak. Centi is negative 2. That one's easy to remember because there's 100 cents in a dollar, and 100 has 2 zeros. So centi is that, and again, centi only works with meters, but that does come up fairly often, so that's not a big deal. So when we're dealing with a metric conversion, we have two different types of metric conversions that I'm going to have you do. One is we're going to just switch to the base unit. And so if we're just switching to the base unit, we're always switching from some other number to 0. So our base unit again is right here at 0. So if we have, say, 1.29 teragrams and we just want to switch to the base unit of grams, again, if you have one letter by itself, that's never a prefix. That's just the unit, so in this case, grams. Tera here is 10 to the 12. Anytime I go to the base unit, base is 0. So if I'm going from 12 down to 0, that got 12 smaller. So if my unit got 12 smaller, then this number has to get 12 bigger. So if it's getting 12 bigger, I move the decimal 1, 2. That takes care of 2 out of the 12. I need 10 more to make 12. So it's going to be 129, and I need 10 more. So we add 10 zeros. And that's the way it's going to look. That's not too hard. If I start off with 26 megaliters, and I want to switch it to just plain liters, then again I start off with mega. Mega is 10 to the 6th here. So this is 6, and just plain liters is, of course, 0. So if I'm going from 6 down to 0, that got 6 smaller, so this has to get 6 bigger. So it's just going to be 26, and we add 6 zeros. No problem. Well, what if we have 26 nanoliters, and we want to go to liters? Well, if I'm down here at nano is minus 9, and I'm going up to 0. So here, if I'm getting up to 0, that's getting 9 bigger. So this has to get 9 smaller. So I don't just stick 9 zeros at the beginning like I did stick 6 zeros at the end. Here I have to move the decimal to make it 9 places smaller. Well, the decimal right now is hiding at the end. So if I move it to make it smaller, it's going to be 1, 2, and I need 7 more to make 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2, 6. So again, the decimal originally was right here, and I moved it a total of 3, 6, 9 to put it in the correct spot here. So that's why I moved it a total of 9. That's the way it works if we're switching to and from the base unit. If we're not switching to and from the base unit, then it's a little bit different. We're still dealing with the same concept, it's just that we're not going to and from 0. So say we have 0.00297 megagrams, and we want to go to milligrams. Now, if you look at this, you got to write your m's carefully because a big M and a little m are very, very different things here. So here, if I'm starting at megagrams, that's a capital M. The capitals are up on top. And I'm going to milligrams, the little one, that's going to be negative 3. So if I go from a positive 6 to a negative 3, then if I'm going from here to here, that got smaller. How much smaller? Well, I got 6 smaller to 0 and 3 more smaller to get to negative 9. So that's a total of 9 smaller. So if this is getting 9 smaller, then this one's going to get 9 bigger. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to here. I need 4 more to make 9, so I'm going to have 297 with 4 zeros at the end. and that's going to be all I have to do. If I'm going the other way, say I have 297 femtoseconds, and I want to know how many nanoseconds that is. Well, if I'm at femto, I'm at negative 15, that's way down here at the bottom. If I'm going to nano, that's up here at negative 9. So here I go from 15 up to 9, that got bigger. How much bigger did it get? Well, from 15 to 9, that's 2 jumps, so 3, 6 bigger. So if this got 6 bigger, then this one is going to have to get 6 smaller. So again, where is the decimal hiding? It's at the end. So 1, 2, 3 smaller. I need 3 more to make it 6. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 9, 7. That made it 6 smaller to give me the correct answer. So that's really all there is to this sort of thing. It's not too bad. One of the more common ones that we end up doing is switching from centimeters to plain meters. If that happens, if I have 256 centimeters, I want to know how many meters is that. Well, meters, there is no prefix, so this is a base unit, so I'm going to 0. If I'm at centi, centi is minus 2, so if I'm going from minus 2 up to 0, that was a jump of 2 bigger, so this has to get 2 smaller. So 2 smaller is just going to be 2.56 meters. That's a very common one, because a lot of times we will measure in centimeters and we need to know it in meters. Sometimes we measure in millimeters and we want to go to centimeters. So say we had 256 millimeters, but now I want to know how many centimeters that is. Well, milli is down here, that's negative 3, centis right here, and that's going to be negative 2. So if I'm going from negative 3 to negative 2, I just got 1 bigger. Well, if that gets 1 bigger, this gets 1 smaller. The decimal's right here. I make it 1 smaller. I move it to there. It's just going to be 25.6. So that's all we have to do on those more common ones. Hopefully that gave you enough practice that you feel a little bit more comfortable working out your homework.